Hey YouTube, Happy New Year 2017. If you guys haven't already seen my New Year's goals video, please scroll through my videos and take a look at it and let me know what some of your 2017 goals are. Okay, so for today we are going to talk about healthy hair growth tips. My viewers have asked me several questions about hair growth, what makes your hair grow, does this product make your hair grow, and all of that. And I just want to make everyone clear on something, that there is no one product that makes your hair grow, only because your hair is already growing. Just like your heart is already beating, you're breathing, your body is doing what it naturally does, and you grow hair. Unless you have a medical condition that prevents you from growing hair, your hair is already growing. So if you're trying to have long hair, what you want to focus on is retaining the length that you have. So the hair that's on your head, taking care of that, so that as your hair is already growing, as it already is, you'll just be retaining the length. And there's some things that you can do to help you with the hair growth process, like taking care of your hair. So I'm just going to go through a couple of the things. I have it written down here on my leopard print notebook. And they're in no particular order. I just jotted them down and I thought it would be really helpful to some people. Okay, so one of the tips I have is nutrition. I cannot stress how important it is for you to have proper nutrition, because you want to make sure you're getting protein, iron, vitamin C, and lots of water, because your hair needs moisture, your body needs water because it's made up of mostly water, and the water is what's going to get those nutrients to the cells and help to have your hair grow. So you need to be eating things that have nutrients in it, so that the nutrients that your hair needs, like biotin and protein and iron, things like that, you will have them through fresh fruits and vegetables, herbs, all sorts of things that actually have nutrition on it. So you want to definitely look at your nutrition. I know a lot of people, myself included, at one point had an iron deficiency, and that was part of the reason why I had some issues with my hair. So you want to look at what you're putting into your body. Okay, number 2, I would say, is have a hair regimen. And because everyone's different, you cannot follow another person's hair regimen and think that it's going to work for you, because their hair regimen is specifically for them. It depends on your lifestyle, it depends on what type of hair you have, it depends on how much time you have to commit to doing whatever it is that that person does, to have their own hair regimen. So what I would say is, if you're clueless and you really just don't know, do some research, look around, look at some YouTubers maybe that you might think have the same type of hair as you. No one really has the same kind of hair as you. No two heads are alike, but you may find similarities. But even in the people who don't have the same type of hair as you, you can still learn. So you would look and see what seems like something you'd want to try. You try some things. If it works, keep what works, dish what doesn't work, but tweak it to what you can do for yourself. The best way to do that is to know your hair. Start doing your hair. Start seeing what your hair likes and doesn't like. Start seeing what your hair reacts to, how it reacts to what. So you must create your own hair regimen, and that's going to basically be created around how much time do you have to do your hair. If you know you only have 1 hour every week or every 2 weeks, in that time frame, you're gonna try to put something together that you know that you can commit to over time, so that you can see the results that you want. Okay, so the next one is do your own research. I cannot stress how much it's really important for you to do your own research. Like, I'm sitting here doing a video helping you with what I know, but there may be something that you can learn that I haven't learned yet, or what I may say may not apply to you. What I do for myself may not work for you. So you always want to, research and then come up with your own opinion. Don't always look to somebody else to spoon feed everything to you, tell you exactly all the ingredients that they put together in their mix and because it may not work for you. Just do your own research, try to be self-sufficient. Come up with your own ideas for your own hair, because at the end of the day, it's your hair journey and you want to make it all about you. Okay, so 4, I have putting nourishing things into your hair. You want to use products that have vitamins, nutrients, herbs, things like rosemary, amla, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, hemp seed oil, shea butter. So you're going to be looking more towards a lot of organic things, because those are the things that are going to have more nutrients, or more, I should say more natural things. Because, you know, everything doesn't have to be organic. But you want to look along those lines and try to stay away from chemicals, because the chemicals don't have any nutrients in it. Something that you might use on your hair may make your hair look nice, whether it's a silicone. The silicone may sit on your hair strand and it's smoothing out the cuticle and your hair looks nice. But at the end of the day, sometimes that will help. That will contribute to dryness, because you have that coat on your hair. And you know, you'll notice your hair starts to break off. So you want to look at the nutrients that you're putting into your hair. And also, if you don't have money for organic, that's okay. Start with what you have, do research, learn about more, look for sales, and just do the best you can. But start looking at the nutrients in the hair products that you're using. So another one that I have is protective styling. You want to always try to protect your hair strands, protect what you have on your head now, because it's all about retaining the length that you do have. And you know, for example, in the winter time, you're not going to want to do wash and goes and walk outside with your hair wet, because now it's going to get, you know, the wet strands are going to get frozen. You're going to be dealing with breakage, things like that. So you want to protect your hair. Before you go to bedtime, before you go to bed, you want to cover your hair up. You want to do styles that are low manipulation hairstyles, to where you're not always in your hair blow drying or combing it out or doing a different style every other day, because it's going to contribute to breakage. And you want to minimize all that manipulation so that you can protect the hair that you do have. Another one I have is trimming your hair. If you have damaged ends, whether it's knotting, split ends, basically single strand knots or split ends, you want to cut it off. There's no sense in holding on to those ends, because all it's going to do is go up the hair shaft. Your hair's going to get thinner and thinner. It's going to break and break. You don't want to have long, thin hair. Like, that's not really attractive. Like, if your hair is naturally thin, that's a different story, because if it's naturally thin but it's healthy and you don't have split ends, it's gonna still look healthy. It may be thin in comparison to someone else's thick, luscious locks, but it's gonna be healthy. But I'm really talking about hair that's thin, because it's breaking off at the ends, breaking off, and you're not clipping off those ends, and then you just have a head full of damaged thin hair. You don't want to have that. So trim your hair as needed. There's no one way. Some people say every 6 weeks, but not everyone needs a trim every 6 weeks. You may need one every 2 months or every 3 months, or you might need one every 6 weeks. It really depends on what you're doing to your hair. So you have to know your hair once again. Okay, moisture. That's a big one. Moisture comes from water, nothing else. A lot of people are under the misconception that moisture is from an oil, or moisture is from shea butter, or moisture. No, what moisture comes from water. If the products that you're using, like some of the leave-ins or conditioners and stuff, when you look at it, like within the first few ingredients, water, okay, it has moisture in it. But if your product doesn't, like oil does not have water in it, so I think it doesn't. You have to take water and put on your hair, and then seal that water in with a butter or an oil, so that your hair is not brittle, that it can maintain its moisture levels. So what you're going to do is, once again, you're going to know your hair. And some people's hair may get drier faster than others. Some people want to use hair porosity as a way to tell, how they should be moisturizing your hair. For example, people with high porosity, that means you have the pores of your hair strand are open. So when you put water in it, your hair is gonna soak it up really fast. It soaks up water really quickly. Some people who have low porosity, their hair strands are not wide open. They're really small. They're not as porous. When they put product on their hair is not so willing to accept the product. The product may sit on top of it. So they may not need to be, moisturizing their hair as much as someone who has highly porous hair, where it's sucking up the moisture and then it's coming out. So you have to know your hair, and there's plenty of tests to check your porosity level, and you don't even have to do the test, to be honest. All you have to do is get some water, spray it on your hair, look to see if your hair is taking it in really quickly, and if it is, then it's highly porous. If it's not, then it's not highly porous. It's really not that difficult. Us on the hair community tend to do things that we see other people doing, take things out of context. Sometimes I feel like the hair community on YouTube just does a little too much. Detangling, that's a big one, because you want to make sure that you're detangling your hair in a way where you're not breaking it off. Like if you work so hard to achieve all of this hair or whatever amount of hair that you have, you want to continue to preserve it. And part of doing that is when you do styles, let's say you've done like a protective style, when you're removing it, you want to remove the style in a way that's still protecting your hair. Part of that would be to put some type of conditioner or moisture on your hair when you're detangling. You want to use a wide tooth comb, or some people prefer to finger detangle, but you want to be gentle with your hair when detangling. You don't want to take a comb and just start combing your hair while it's dry and you're pulling your hair out, you're breaking your hair off. It doesn't make any sense. And unfortunately, in our community, a lot of us grew up in households where our parents weren't really that informed, and they would just start doing that, and children would be devastated and crying, and we all thought that that was the way that it's supposed to be. But now that we know better, we don't have to do that. You can put some conditioner on the hair, let it sit on the hair for a while, and then you get the wide tooth comb, do it in sections, and start combing. Check out some of my videos on detangling. I have quite a few. I even have some when I detangle my niece's hair and make it such a breeze for them. The last one that I have here is cover your hair at night. This is a big one because a lot of people, they go through the motions of protective styling, doing all this stuff, all the other things, but they don't cover their hair at night. And most of the time, if you're sleeping on a cotton pillow, it's robbing all of that moisture in your hair. And not so much as it robbing moisture from your hair, but if you're sleeping and you're tossing and turning all the time, that friction on your hair too is not the best. So you want to protect your hair at night, whether you're wearing a satin bonnet, a satin scarf, a satin head wrap, whatever it is that you have. And I have some products that I sell on my website. I made this headpiece right here. It's an accessory. You can go on my site to see it. But I have lock socks, and these you can cover your hair at night with them. And they also can be headbands and things like that. I have different colors. And you can scroll through my videos to see how I use them. And I have several videos. I also have on my website satin bonnets. This one is satin lined, so that when you sleep, your hair is rubbing up against this, and it really helps to keep that lock. It really helps to lock in that moisture. This one is satin on both sides, so they're reversible, and so you're getting like two looks in one. They're really, really good to help lock in and seal that moisture. I also have head wraps that are satin lined. So those of you who like to wear the head wraps, you will have this nice satin to protect your natural hair. I have quite a few. These are my newest products that I have for the new year. And a lot of you have already purchased, and I thank you so much. Here's one of my favorite ones. This is one that a lot of people like. It's lined with satin. So those are my tips for growing healthy hair. You want to find a regimen that works for you. You want to be committed to your hair regimen, and you want to really know your hair and do your research, and don't worry about what's going to make your hair grow. Your hair is already growing. You just have to focus on taking really good care of it, and you'll be just fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my tips. Visit my website if you're interested in purchasing any of those hair products that will definitely help you in retaining moisture and protecting your hair at night, and also looking cute. I also do custom fashion. I'm wearing a dashiki shirt today that I made. So if you guys follow me, you know I'm a fashion designer as well. You can follow my fashion channel. I do DIY tutorials on this one too. So thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.